The Sea of Galilee flows into the Jordan River. And the Jordan River flows into the Dead Sea. Now, here's something about the Sea of Galilee and the Jordan River. They have all types of fish and plants that grow. It's vibrant. It's thriving with life. The Dead Sea is salty. And it's so salty, it has high degree and density of buoyancy that you float, just jumping, you just float automatically. But there's no life in the Dead Sea. That's why they call it the Dead Sea. There's no life there. It's an inlet. But you know what? It's the difference between the two, and life shows us things. It's not an outlet. It doesn't feed into anything. It doesn't give water to anything. It only receives water. There are a lot of people, ladies and gentlemen, that are takers. They're inlets, but they're dead. They're dead inside. They're not giving anything. Their lives are salty, tasteless life, non-contributing life. They're the walking, breathing dead. How many of you know people just take and don't give anything back? These are miserable people. They're miserable people to be around, these takers. The act of giving makes you more alive and able to sustain life. See, when you are going through life relentlessly, seeking out what is it you're supposed to give? What service are you supposed to give? That you're supposed to provide, that you're supposed to bring, that's very important. Service is the rent we pay for the space we take up on earth. So decide now, whatever you have, whatever this is that you have in you, that you're going to give. And you're going to give like you've never given before. Why? It gives your life to give. It brings out more in you. The more you give, the more you realize you can give. The more you share, the more you love, the more compassion you show. What a time when we have homeless people. The time when we have young people who have no sense of purpose and direction. At a time when people are feeling powerless with all the massive layoff and jobless people, and there's a mean spirit against people that are down on their luck. For people now decide that regardless of what's going on in my life right now, there's something I can give. Regardless of what's going on, that I showed up to do something. And I'm going to find a way to become of greater service to humanity and greater service to life. Now, what can you do, Les? When you have been telling yourself you can reach your goal, and you've been affirming, I am abundant, I am rich, I feel better than good and better than most, I am blessed and highly favored, I can make it, I'm a winner, and you losing every day. You reading all these prosperity books, you listening to all these tapes, and it ain't happening. You wrote your goals down, you've been concentrating on these goals, you've been going out there and you have no money in your pocket. You're talking about, I'm a rich child of God. Your mind say, come on, give me a break. Who are you joking? What do you do when you've lost your spirit, you've lost your job, you lost everything, life been devastated? How do you do it? Come on, be real, man. Come on, get a life. You can't do that. You can't come back from that. Come on. How do you do that? Here's something that Larry DeAngelo wrote. He said, life is like a grindstone. It can polish you or it can pulverize you, depending on how you position yourself. Think about this goal you have. I want you to think about it hard, because here's what happened to that man that closed himself into the garage. He didn't believe this. This is some place that you can always retreat to and be in concert with yourself. See, when I started working on my goal, just starting 5 years ago, to go into a $210 billion industry, had no training in that industry, never did it, no exposure in that industry, wanting to become nationally known, not a celebrity, not some athlete or actor, no exposure to the market, but I decided here's something I wanted to do that gives my life value and meaning. I love talking to people. I love making people feel good and making them laugh and enjoying themselves. I started out, how do you stay in the race, Les, when you knocked on doors and you were turned around and you lost your money, lost your car, had no place to stay, sleeping at people's houses, on their floor, on their couch? How do you do that? How do you handle the times when you were borrowing money and couldn't pay it back? You felt humiliated. When people you love who didn't believe in you and told you ain't nothing. How'd you fight that inner conversation? How do you keep on coming back again and again? You don't know what has happened to me when your life has been destroyed with drugs or alcohol, or you've lost your business or lost your job or lost your home and you've been completely devastated. How do you come back? How can you tell me that there's a possibility I can come back? Oh, let me tell you something. All I want you to think about, whatever you want to do, whatever goal you have, whatever dream you have, it's to reclaim your health. is to have your own business, to have another job, to earn more money, to have a better life, to travel around the world, to help out children, to make the environment better. Whatever it is, here's what I want you to stand on. This one statement, on this benchmark. Just say to yourself, it's possible. See, if I'd said 5 years ago, I'm going to make 5 years from now $1 million in 1 year, and I hadn't made $10,000, my mind would say, that's impossible. Come on. So I think the reason that most people don't reach their goals, and many of the people that started out with me that gave up and stopped and they became frustrated, they said, I can do it. I'm not asking you to say I can do it. No, don't say that. No. I don't even want you to believe you can do it. No. That's not a requirement. All you need to do to get out in the arena of life is to say, it's possible. How many of you know people who moan and groan and complain about life all the time, all right? They might moan and groan about their job. I'm sick of this job. I'm sick of you. And they just moan and groan and complain all the time and never do anything about it. They haven't got to the point where they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. They just have enough energy to complain about it, and they consider that, in fact, they believe that that's equivalent to doing something about it, just complaining. No. That can't get you where you want to go. That cannot create your reality for you. The other thing that keeps most people from realizing their true greatness and their true potential, circumstances, their environment. There are many people who believe because of where they're born, because of the area where they are in life and where they find themselves, that's all they know. Given my circumstances, ladies and gentlemen, I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. See, I know something about you, even not knowing you, that you've got greatness within you. You have the ability to do things that you can't even begin to imagine. You have talents and skills in you that you haven't even begun to reach for yet. No one could have convinced me, given my circumstances, given my background, that I would be doing what I'm doing right now. I was born in Liberty City on a floor on 62nd Street, my twin brother and me. When we were 6 weeks of age, we were adopted. When I was in 5th grade, I was identified as EMR, labeled educable mentally retarded, and put back from the 5th grade into the 4th grade and stayed in that category until I got out of high school. I have no college training, but here's what happened. I had an intervention in my life. A man who saw something in me in a time that I did not see something in myself. I never forget being in his class one day waiting on a friend of mine who was there to rehearse for a play. He did not show up, and he asked me to go up to the board and write something on the board. And I said, I can't do that, sir. He said, why not? I said, I'm in a special education class. He said, what do you mean? Go up to the board and write what I'm about to tell you. I said, I can't do that, sir. Why not? I'm educable mentally retarded. And he came from behind his desk. He said, don't ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And that changed my life. It was Oliver Wendell Holmes who said that once a person's mind is expanded with an idea or a concept, it can never be satisfied to going back to where it was. So some of you are going to experience a breakthrough. Some of you are going to go back and look at your dreams and brush them off. Some of you are going to begin to look at yourself and say, hey, look here, I know I have not done all that I can do. When Buster Douglas was fighting with Mike Tyson and the odd makers predicted he was a bum and he'd be knocked out in about 1 or 2 rounds, I think that after he made it to the 3rd round, he took some of Mike Tyson's best shots. He said, wait a minute. Hey, Mike, it's possible that maybe this next call might do it. It's possible this next job interview might be the one. It's possible. In spite of 27 rejections, it's possible that this might be the one. It's possible. Just maybe I can do this. That's all. That puts you on the playing field. You ain't got to hype yourself and psych yourself out. What it does is just keep you moving in that direction. That's all I'm asking you. Believe that it's possible, that you can make it. I like what Charles Allen says. He said, when you say a situation, a person is hopeless, you're slamming the door in the face of God. You're slamming the door in the face of God. There's no guarantee that because somebody is now down on their luck, they can never come back. Who can guarantee that you can't make it? That you can't have your dream? Who can guarantee that you can't do what you want to do? No one can do that. No one can predict that. You can't even do that. You don't know what the possibilities are for your life. No. All we need to do is we look at our dreams as we get ready to hit the floor. I'm blessed and highly favored, and it's possible I can get my dream. You go after that dream too. Don't go casually. You got to go out there like you want that dream. Don't go out here like these people See, when you feel like you're blessed, you're ready to get into a good fight for this dream. You're ready to get down for this dream. You want your dream? Let me say, I want this dream if it's convenient, if I don't have any hassle, if I don't have to flip through any hoops, if everything's all together, if I don't have any opposition, if nobody works against me, if nobody tells me no, if I don't run out of money, if everybody loans me what I want and give me what I want and agree with me and support me, I'd like to have that dream. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not that kind of party. It's a party getting what you want, this dream you have. Say it's possible, and don't let nobody turn you around. Don't let circumstances turn you around. Don't let hard times turn you around. It's okay. Whatever you're experiencing, you know that this too shall pass, that you have the capacity and the ability to make it happen. You got a sense of entitlement. I deserve this, and whatever I have to do in order to make it happen, I'm willing to step up and to face life and grab it in a collar and say, give it up because it's mine. See, most people are wimps, ladies and gentlemen. Very tentative, and they don't believe that they deserve what they want anyhow, and so they convince themselves, I'm not supposed to have it.
Whatever goal that you have in mind, I want that to be a goal that will challenge you, something that will make you stretch. It was Osborne who said, unless you attempt to do something beyond that which you've already mastered, you will never grow. What is it that you looked at some point in time and you decided that you couldn't do it, that you talk yourself out of it? Whatever it is, bring it back out there. How are you going to do it? That will come to you in due time. So you don't get in life what you want, ladies and gentlemen. You get in life what you are, not what you want. And see, the good news is that we can always become more by working to develop ourselves. So the first process of making this your decade, you've got to begin to take a look at your life and look at where are you right now? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What gives your life a sense of fulfillment, a sense of joy? What does a full, rich life means to you? What is it that you could love doing 7 days a week that'll bring a smile to your face? Think about that. In all the areas of your life, your professional life, your personal life, your family life, your spiritual life, what is it that you'd like to have? Once you begin to determine that, that takes you to the next step. And that is, once you decide what it is that you want, now you've got to decide that you deserve that. I deserve the best that life has to offer. I deserve to find my purpose in life. Find your purpose. Do you know by actively pursuing your purpose, it could perhaps extend your life? The number one killer in this country of all the diseases we have, heart disease. It's the number one killer. And if you ask most people, when is it that the majority of people have their first major heart attack? Some people will tell you as a result of obesity or smoking cigarettes or high cholesterol or high blood pressure. And all of those are contributing factors. However, the truth of the matter is that most people don't realize that the majority of people suffer their first major heart attack on Monday morning between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. People getting ready to go to jobs that they don't like, jobs that are making them sick. You see, when you're not pursuing your goal, you are literally committing spiritual suicide. Now, here's something else. You must be positive. See, a lot of people, when things don't happen when they want it to happen, they become negative and they turn out and start projecting a lot of negative energy. No, you've got to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to be positive. Because see, when you know within yourself things are going to work out for you, when you know within yourself that some way, somehow, you're going to make it, these are just some of the hoops you've got to flip through in order to get there. It's okay. Have a friend who went to get a job and the people didn't hire him. He was so negative. They just don't have a job today. If you want to reach your goal and have a competitive edge, you've got to be hungry. I was doing work for a major corporation and they were having a major downsizing. It's just another terminology for major firings. The people that were working there, they approached them and said, listen, you are eligible for early retirement. We will give you a buyout package of $300,000. if you take it within this time frame. However, after this time frame, when we have the downsizing, you might be among the people cut and you will lose all of benefits that we're talking about right now. And the most you can get is 2 weeks severance pay. Ladies and gentlemen, only 50% of the people that were eligible took this. Let me tell you something. If I'd been there, I'd have gone to ask for your check. See, ladies and gentlemen, life is too short trying to play it safe. It's too short and unpredictable, being miserable. It's too short for that. Here's the thing. There's no safe position in life. Let me tell you why. It's a quiet secret that most people don't realize. You can't get out of life alive. Hello, you can't get out of life alive. So there's no safe position. So if you want to make this your decade, you've got to decide to be bold. So you got to be bold in life. You got to take life on. I remember I was at a major corporation. I had to give a presentation, and there were two guys sitting across from me, and the guy said to the other fellow, looking at the last two finalists, and that involved my firm and their firm, said, listen, looking at the credentials, this guy doesn't have any credentials. We have an advantage here. We've got 2 PhDs between us. I got up and I went in the bathroom, started talking to myself. I said, Les Brown, what do you care about their 2 PhDs? You have 6 children and a mama to take care of. And I went in that meeting, and first of all, I went in walking bold, looking good, feeling good, and smelling good. And I sat across that table and we started negotiating, and I operated in a spirit of absolute certainty. I looked at them as if the only reason that they were born was to give me that contract. They survived 1 out of 9 million sperms to carry out this transaction, and I got the contract. So you got to decide to be bold. Most people go through life trying to creep. No. Trying to be casual about it. No. You go through life being casual, you'll end up a casualty. No. You've got to be bold in life. You've got to take life on. When you have some goal out here that you're stretching for and reaching for that takes you out of your comfort zone, you'll find out some talents and abilities you have that you didn't know you have. I started speaking just to elementary school kids because I knew they didn't know what I was talking about. And they gave me all kind of standing ovation. Then I graduated up to junior high school, and then to senior high school, and then to various community groups and church groups and civic associations, and then to colleges and to businesses. Now I'm traveling across the country and then traveling nationally and internationally. But I never would have discovered what I'm able to do right now if I wasn't willing to take a chance. And you've got to be willing to do that. You've got to believe in yourself.
When Buster Douglas was fighting with Mike Tyson and the odd makers predicted he was a bum and be out, he'd be knocked out in about 1 or 2 rounds. I think that after he made it to the 3rd round, he took some of Mike Tyson's best shots. He said, wait a minute. Hey, Mike, it's possible that maybe this next call might do. It's possible this next job interview might be the one. It's possible. In spite of 27 rejections, it's possible that this might be the one. It's possible. Just maybe I can do this. That's all. That puts you on the playing field. You ain't got to hype yourself and psych yourself out. What it does is just keep you moving in that direction. That's all I'm asking you. Believe that it's possible, that you can make it. I like what Charles Allen says. He said, when you say a situation, a person is hopeless, you're slamming the door in the face of God. You're slamming the door in the face of God. There's no guarantee that because somebody is now down on their luck, they can never come back. Who can guarantee that you can't make it? That you can't have your dream? Who can guarantee that you can't do what you want to do? No one can do that. No one can predict that. You can't even do that. You don't know what the possibilities are for your life. No. All we need to do is we look at our dreams as we get ready to hit the floor. I'm blessed and highly favored, and it's possible I can get my dream. You go after that dream too. Don't go casually. You got to go out there like you want that dream. Don't go out here like these people. See, if you feel like you're blessed, you're ready to get into a good fight for this dream. You're ready to get down for this dream. You want your dream? Let me say, I want this dream if it's convenient, if I don't have any hassle, if I don't have to flip through any hoops, if everything's all together, if I don't have any opposition, if nobody works against me, if nobody tells me no, if I don't run out of money, if everybody loans me what I want and give me what I want and agree with me and support me, I'd like to have that dream. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not that kind of party. It's a party getting what you want, this dream you have. Say it's possible, and don't let nobody turn you around. Don't let circumstances turn you around. Don't let hard times turn you around. It's okay. Whatever you're experiencing, you know that this too shall pass. That you have the capacity and the ability to make it happen. You got a sense of entitlement. I deserve this, and whatever I have to do in order to make it happen, I'm willing to step up and to face life and grab it in a collar and say, give it up, because it's mine. See, most people are wimps, ladies and gentlemen. Very tentative, and they don't believe that they deserve what they want anyhow, so they convince themselves, I'm not supposed to have it.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. I've been saying for a long time, you have greatness in you. And someone asked me, why do you always say that and emphasize that every time you speak? Well, I'm going to share with you why I say that. I said because I know that based upon my own experience. When I think about where I came from, born in an abandoned building on a floor, I want you to see something that my friend Dr. Miles Monroe talked about. Rob the cemetery of your gifts. Had I not been willing to invest in myself, had I not been willing to change my relationships, had I not been willing to believe that I had greatness in me and was willing to experiment with this thing called life, to take a chance on me, I would have made the cemetery rich with Les Brown, because I had so much in me that I didn't even realize. That's how I know you've got a lot in you you don't even know. And for 14 years, I didn't do what I'm doing. For 14 years, I didn't believe that I could live the life that I have lived and I'm continuing to live. I don't want you to sleep tonight. I want to upset you. I want to disrupt your conversation with yourself. Because you came here with something in you. You have a superpower. You have a story and you have a voice. We were raised in poverty. Now I want you to really remember this. It's not where you start, it's where you're going. When you think about all the stuff that's going on now, the most powerful area that we have not, I talk about the value of knowing you have greatness in you, self-development, knowing the truth of you. Now, what you will notice is my superpower, which is my ability to communicate. I invested in myself, I got a coach, and I surrounded myself with the right people. Look where it can take you. Somebody is waiting to hear your voice. There are people all over the world that's waiting to hear your voice. I don't know you, but here's what I know about you. That you have something special. You have greatness within you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. I want you to think about some major goals that you have in your life. A friend of mine told me a period of his life, he was going across Europe on a train, and at different points, people would wake him up, the staff on the train, and ask him 3 questions. Who are you? Why are you here? And where are you going? And I think that life is always asking us that question. Who are you? How do you see yourself? How do you define yourself? And where are you going? Something that you want to do, something that you want to accomplish. When scripture says, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you, that means something. I hear people saying that all the time, and they haven't done anything. They haven't been anywhere. They don't even live their lives from a place of power. They don't even know who they are. And they take their talents, their abilities, their skills, their superpower to the cemetery. And you know people like that because they underestimated themselves because of the kind of environment that we live in. That's why Richard Wright said, the impulse to dream has been slowly beaten out of me through the experiences of life. We've had some experiences that many of us don't even dream anymore. Somebody asked the question, when is it a man or a woman dies? When their dreams die. So you listen to these people speaking, these politicians. They're trained. They're all talking from the same playbook. They'll get in the media and they get caught red-handed and lie with a straight face like you are blind. Nothing happens until it's spoken. Warren Buffett said this, the most important investment you can make is in your ability to communicate. Not being able to communicate effectively is like being in a dark room with a woman. Nothing happens. And I realize I'm not for everybody because the majority of people are not hungry. If you're serious, tired of playing around, knowing that there's no such thing as job security, want to live a life that's you, want to live a life that the future you will say, whoa, I'm so glad you made that decision. A life that gives you a sense of significance and purpose and power. You want that? People say, why do you laugh so much? Because I have joy. See, if you're doing something that's not you, and you under pressure and you don't like the job, 86% of people don't like their job. They go to these jobs they hate, and at the same time, they hope they don't get fired. It's like mixed emotion. This is for somebody who want to rob the cemetery of their gifts, of their story. This is for somebody who has a passion for helping children, helping kids, give people hope. This is for somebody that's ready to say, yes, this is for me. I don't want to convince you to do this. A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. Most people are not serious. Most people are not hungry. Most people have already settled. Tennessee Williams said that most people look in the mirror at some point in time in their lives, and they know the eyes that are looking back at them are looking at a person that all they're ever going to be and all they're ever going to do, they've already done it. This is for people who said, I want more. This is for people that are serious. Road to life is straight and narrow, and few there be that find it, because few there be that are serious. Few there be that are determined. Few there be that are hungry. Those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, right thinking, right words, right feelings, right people, right vision shall be filled. I repeat, you have something special. You have greatness in you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about taking charge of your life. This is a time that people are literally taking charge of their lives because they know that life, it does not have any warranty. There are no guarantees, and you have to take charge. What do you want to do with your life? People are rethinking their lives. What do you look like? What does your life look like? How do you want to do life after this? That now we have to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to find peace, to build stronger relationships, stronger family ties, to turn to each other rather than on each other, to stay focused on some goal, some skill that we can develop, something that we want to do, some impact we want to make with our lives, rather than just running scared. We're here to do a work, the greater work. You have something special. You got greatness in you, and you have to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to find out what is that greater work. What does that look like? And let me be about my Father's business. Let me be engaged in doing something, and this is what people want. The reason that many people who have been told, oh, you don't have to come in now, and then they said, okay, you can come on in now, it's safe, and there are people saying, no, they said, I want to do something that's me, and that's a good thing. Doing something that's you. It's unthinkable for some of you saying, I don't want to die a life doing something 40 hours a week or 60 hours a month. That's not me. I want to do something that resonates with me, with my heart, with the things that I know that I have within myself to do, but through procrastination, through fear, through being in a toxic, negative environment, through my not having confidence in myself. And I know about that. For 14 years, I didn't do what I'm doing because I didn't believe in me. I didn't have the confidence because I don't have a college education. I didn't think that I can compete with people with PhDs and MBAs. And being labeled educable mentally retarded and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade and failed again at the 8th grade at Booker T. Washington High School in Miami, Florida, where Michael Baptiste is from. I did not think that I had the ability to do what I'm doing. And so here's what I'm challenging you to do. Number one, get a larger vision of yourself. I want you to live from where you see yourself going. Did you hear what I said? Live from that place. See where you're going. See yourself being there and experiencing what that's like. He said, I'll give you all your eyes can see. You want to focus on where you are going. And yes, there are things going on around us. Yes, there are going to be other viruses, but don't allow the corrosion of a virus of lack of vision to take your life away. You want to hold a vision of where you're going and what you want out of life. Most people are just trying to get through life. You want to have a mindset of what you want to get out of life, because you can. And because that's why we are here. The other thing is, you got to upgrade your skill set. That in order to live the kind of life that you envision for yourself, you got to ask yourself the question, what is it I have going for me? And in my case, I looked at myself and I had to ask, what is it you have going for you? What is it that people compliment you on? What is it that comes to you naturally? What is it that you could do it and it's no big deal, but you do it well? I've had people say, you know what? What? You ought to be a comedian. I said, why? Because you're funny. Well, talks to a squirrel at 77. Well, you leave Tyrone out of this, okay? There are people around you that see some stuff and they have some value. Perhaps it's no big deal to you because it's you. And you can monetize that. This is the time. This is an entrepreneur's dream. Why? Because you want to have the mindset of getting your piece of the pie. Write down, what's my piece of the pie? See, money has not left the planet. And some of that money that's out here, it's got your name on it. There's some products, there's some ideas, there's some inventions. There's some stuff in you that you can monetize. And you want to think about that. What is it that I got going for me? What is it I'm bringing to the table? That's what you want to do. What is it that you're known for, that you're good at? And something that you enjoy so much, you do it for nothing, but you do it so well that people will pay you to do it. We know that life has no guarantee. Life, it's uncertain. Life, it's unpredictable. Life, it's coming for us every day. It's saying, I ain't playing with you. It's going to take us out. One way or the other, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Nobody's figured out how to get out of here alive. So you want to live life now. You don't want to die an unlived life. You want to have the kind of courage that Michael Baptiste has. Just get a one-way ticket somewhere and figure it out. Didn't even know how to speak the Thai language and went there and set up camp. Come on now. As a bad young brother up in here. And life is about walking by faith and not by sight. It's about taking a chance on you. You are the money. You are the people worry about, that we can't find enough people to work on the jobs that's available. You know why? Because they don't want to do those jobs. They want and are looking for something that's them. That's what's happening with the majority of people. They're reflecting on their lives and they're asking themselves, does this work for me? Is this me? And if the answer is no, then do you. Don't die an unlived life. Take a chance on you. Oh, but Les, I don't have any money. Okay, find somebody who's got some money that will invest in you. Find something that you love so much, that's your passion, that you master, that you are so good at it that you can't be ignored, and that you can attract some investors. But I don't know how to do it. You don't have to know how to do it. Leap and grow your wings on the way down. You don't have to know. Figure it out. Or get somebody to help you. Two heads are better than one. Come on, anybody can come up with excuses. Life is not about excuses. Life is about results. It's that kind of place where we are right now. This is a strange place. I say this every day. And I'm saying to you, the future belongs to those who create it. That's what's going to happen. What you create. That's what's going to happen for you and for the people that you love and for the people that you care about. That when you bet on you, when you decide, wait a minute, I'm going to try something differently. But I don't know how to do it. Learn. I didn't know how to do what I'm doing now, but I was willing to focus my time, my effort. I was willing to invest in myself. I was willing to find someone that was doing it on the level that I wanted to do it. And I said, hey, Mike Williams, who wrote the book, The Road to Your Best Stuff. Hey, would you teach me? He said, are you willing to put your money where your mouth is? Yeah, I want to do that. So as you look at yourself, look at your goals and dreams, you are the money. Bet on you. Invest in you. Increase your value. And don't put it off because the clock is ticking. It's ticking. There goes a second. There goes another second. There goes another second. And all the power in the world can't bring it back. Life ain't playing with us. And so we should be serious. This conversation is not for everybody. This is for people who know that life is serious, who want to live before they die, who don't want to die an unlived life. This conversation for people who want to see the world before they leave the world. This conversation is for people who say, I'm not mentally fit to work for somebody doing something that's not me for the rest of my life. This conversation is for somebody who said, I'm going to do what I can with what I have. This conversation ain't for everybody, because most people are spectators. What do you mean by that, Les? Most people are fans. The reason that you're listening to me is because you said, I want more. Many of you are in relationships that's already reached its expiration date and just have not conjured up the courage to say, I'm tired of dying with you. I want to do something else. I'll never forget, I was in Chicago, and I used to go there and do motivational events at Christ Universal Temple Church, and there was a couple that always came to see me, and I saw this guy sitting on one side and his wife seated on the other. And I said, hey, man, why aren't you seated with your wife? And he said, she left me. I said, she left me? He said, yes. She said that she didn't want to be with me anymore. She left the relationship. I said, oh man, I said, I'm sorry to hear that. And so I went over and I talked to her for a little while. I said, what's up? I don't mean to get in your business up in here, but I'm going to get in here. Y'all used to come here together. Why'd you leave him? And she said, he didn't want anything. That's why. He didn't want anything. I wanted more than what we had. And he was fine with what we had. And I wasn't willing to settle for what we had. Why should we settle for fine when we can do great? You said we have greatness in you. Okay, fantastic. Let's live a great life, not just come here and hear Les Brown and go home and do the same thing. He didn't want anything. So that's why I left. Wow. And there's some value in that. And I'm not trying to break up relationships, but when you're around somebody that they don't want anything, it affects you. They don't have any goals. They don't have any dreams. They're not reaching for anything. They're not learning. They're not on a path of self-awareness. They don't have something that's in their mind, in their heart. If they don't have some obsession of something they want to do with their lives, that energy that they have, it's flat. It doesn't inspire you. It doesn't encourage you. You're not bringing out the greatness in each other. That's dangerous. It's the virus of mediocrity. That's dangerous because you're already dead. You're living a life that's not worthwhile. And so this is a time where first we got to work on our mind. We got to decide what this time that I have left, what is it that I want to do? How is it that I can find some meaning and significance and I don't want to live a fear-driven life. No, I want to enjoy life. I want to travel. I want to be able to live a life that counts, that matters. So when you look at this thing called life, it's about transformation. It's about disruptions and about miracles because you have miracle working power. Don't judge where your situation is right now. Don't judge your circumstances, even if you don't have any evidence to the contrary. Judge not according to appearances. What do you mean by that, Les? It's because of the fact that we're talking about right thinking, right words, right feelings, right relationships, and the right environment. You got to create an environment for you to win. And you got to expect to win a perpetual sense of optimism. When they diagnosed me with 4th stage cancer, that stirred up a fight in me. When all of a sudden, out of New York said, Les Brown has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. Our brother is dying. Pray for him. And by the time I got home, phone was ringing off the hook. I got angry. Now I look back, that was a good thing he did. You know why? Because I said, he doesn't know me like that. How are you going to put me in the ground already? How's he going to do that? As if I'm just going to say, okay, they said that I got cancer, so I'm going to die. But there are people who do that every day. But there's some people defy the odds. Defy the odds. 8 out of 10 millionaires have been financially bankrupt. You know why? They defied the odds. They lost everything and they came back. I interviewed a young man last night. His name is Zach Benson. Zach was a break dancer and he was very good. When I interviewed him, I had no idea where this was going. I did not know his story. Listen to me, you got a story. And people who want to monetize this story, like I'm going to be working with Zach, and your story on how you overcome stuff, how you dealt with stuff will be a survival guide for somebody that's going through it right now, who have a sense of optimism and expect things to get better. They see their situation as temporary. So Zach was a break dancer, young guy, 28 years old, and in practice he landed the wrong way and injured himself. And it was severe, but he did not want to disappoint his fans or the promoters. And he tried to dance anyhow. And that only lasts for 47 seconds. You'll see in the interview. Guess what he did? And I want to walk you through this process. He had to rethink his life. Because that which he loved to do, that which he did very well, that which he thought would take him into the future and be his livelihood was taken away. That's what coronavirus has done to a lot of people, to their businesses, to their jobs, to their dreams, taken away in a blink of an eye. And a friend of his called and made a suggestion to him. I believe in angels. When I lost my job at the radio station, at WVKO radio station, when they fired me, a gentleman came to my house named Horace Perkins with a list of names on a petition and said, Les Brown, you've been fired off the air, but people love you. You ought to run for state representative. People will come out and vote for you. I would have never done that. I didn't even think about running for office. I was known for bringing out the vote and inspiring people to register to vote. So at any rate, he brought these petitions to my house. To make a long story short, I ran for state representative against a 22-year incumbent and won, hands down. There's something else. When one door closes, another door opens that eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you. There's some things that happen to you, but there's some things that happen for you. And guess how they come about? When you realize that life is about transformation, disruptions, and miracles. You have miracle working power. And so Zach, because he landed wrong, it ended his dancing career, his break dancing career. We're both adopted, so we felt connected. And somebody made a phone call to Zach and said, you know what, I'm looking at something called Instagram. You ought to become involved in this. There's some money up in there. Now, here's something else. When something happens to you and interrupt what you are now doing, you can make a decision, you know what, I'm going to still find a way to win. And that's a good thing. I could have found a way to stay in radio, but I didn't. I decided to take another route, another path, and become a state legislator, and was very successful. But he decided from the phone call that he got, he was going to look into Instagram. And so this is the time that maybe you need to be willing and open to looking at something else. And that's what he did. And when you're open to learn something else, and you're not willing to learn, I always say this, no one can help you, but if you're willing to learn, no one can stop you. This is a time for you to look at your life, look at where you want to go, look at what you want to do. And let me warn you, don't look at where you are. Don't look at your bills. Don't spend time talking about what has happened to you. Keep thine eyes single. Hold a vision of yourself being successful in the future with whatever you do. That's what you want to do, because your thoughts have magnetic power. Where focus goes, energy, persistence, faith, and determination flows. That's why we're taught to keep thine eyes single, so you can align yourself and get ready to win, to create the next greatest version of
yourself. I reinvented myself. You can reinvent yourself. Start asking yourself, what is it? What talents? What gifts? What miracle working power in me I haven't called on yet? Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. You got miracle working power. You're here for a reason. You've been chosen. You've been picked out to be picked on because you have miracle working power in you. There's something in you the world needs. You are going down the wrong path. And so, you know what? There's been an intervention. There's been a disruption. Say, oh, no. I got something else for you that's bigger and better than that. And so, listen, I went from the Miami Sanitation Department working for Sears as a salesman, selling television sets door to door, being a disc jockey, a community activist, a state legislator, and now a voice of transformation around the world. Are you kidding me? What a mighty God we serve. I'm here because of his grace and mercy. And so are you. Don't forget it. You're no accident. You got to become defiant. This thing called life, it's about a fight. There are a lot of people that are talking about all the people dying from the coronavirus. Guess what? There are far more people that are living like my daughter Serena, like my son-in-law Will. And they've been fighting, and they are winning. Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. I want you to write this down. Think about something that you want to do in your personal life, in your professional life, in your health, in your relationships. Who is it that you don't need to deal with, be in relationship with, communicate with? Life is like an elevator. The higher you go up, like those spaceships, the higher they go up, they let certain stuff off because it's too heavy. Yet some people just too heavy when it comes to drama. When you have goals and dreams and you want to fine tune your life and approach to life, you want to create a drama-free zone. No drama up in here. You ain't got time for it. A lot of people don't know what time it is. A lot of those people don't know how different things are. They don't know. They have no clue. There are three kinds of people. There are people who make things happen, people that watch things happen, and people that don't know what happened. That's the majority. And they'll be standing in line somewhere, hoping that somebody with mercy and pity will look in their direction. No! Hey, listen here. You've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. Listen to me. Be defiant. Be willing to learn something. Keep moving in the direction of where you want to go. Continue to fall forward. This thing has not come to stay. It's come to pass. And as you look at your goals, I read something. Preparation is very important. I read this and I said, I like this. You must prepare for success, even if there is no indication of it. You must prepare for success, even if you have become accustomed to failure. You must prepare for success if nobody you know, nobody in your life have ever achieved anything. You must prepare for success. Take the time to prepare and prepare hard. Nobody in my family has done what I've done, but I didn't let that stop me. I didn't let that stop me from feeling that this life that I'm living now wasn't available to me when I was going through foreclosure or eviction, or when I was hiding my car at my cousin Boo's house. And I learned a long time ago the best way to get back on your feet is to miss 3 car payments. You got to step up your game plan. You got to look at this for what it is. Something's happening up in here, and it's different. And there's no time to sit around and say, well, why did this have to happen to me? Why not you? Who would you suggest? You got to be like Zach Benson. Deal with it. Got to deal with it. I'll never forget when I was unloading the truck, going back to the house I moved my mother out of. My mother told me, hold your head up, boy. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Hold your head up. You have nothing to be ashamed of. And when you lift up your head, let me tell you something. Oh, anybody can have faith when you got a job, your marriage is working, you got money in the bank, your children acting like they have good sense. Nobody looked at you and told you that you're terminally ill. Oh, you can have faith then. But faith not tested can't be trusted. Listen to me. Listen to me. You don't know how strong you are until you have to be strong.
And most people, they choose. It's always a choice. It's always a choice. Zach Benson, check him out. In the interview I did with him on my Facebook after my conversation with you, Jack Benson could have become depressed and turned to drugs and all type of self-sabotaging behavior, as many people do every day.